Hi, everyone. You're live with Necee. I am your host, Opal Bailey. And today I would like to share with you some resources and some information from Vitas Healthcare. And I don't know if some people, you may know what Vitas is, but I just want to share with you for those who don't know what they are. They're a hospice care, and they've been in business since 1978. So, this is very important to me as well, because I can remember when my father was very, very ill, and it got to a place where he needed some equipment, some things in the home to make, taking care of him a little bit more easy for the family. And I remember the time when my brother, who was, his main caregiver, was searching around, calling around from different places to see what kind of services they offer. And I remember Vitas coming to the home and was providing him with a bed and a walker. And they even went in and provided a shower stool as well as a shower bar. So that was very interesting to me to find out that a company can have those kind of services, as well as provide you with more services to help you, to kind of take care of the loved ones that you have, and also to kind of relieve the stress from taking care of my father that my brother was doing. And it's also important to know that when you're dealing with your loved ones and you're going through a lot of things in life with them, and you try to make, your home or where they are comfortable as possible, it's good to know that you have help. It's good to know that you don't have to do it alone, and that there are resources available. And that's why this whole segment for the month and a half has been on caregivers. It's been on health and healing, on the journey that most people are taking right now. And even through this holiday season, you may be going through some things, and you may be dealing with a family member who you have to take care of, and you just don't quite know what to do, or you don't quite know where to turn. Well, Vitas services that they provide is bereavement and grief care. That's one of them. And I want to stop there because that helped me out when dealing with my father, during his last time in the last moments of his life, having the help, having them come in the room with you. And it just wasn't just family with us. It was just, they were there. They stood there the whole time. And I can remember when my dad took his last breath, and I just lost it. And this young lady, she came right over to me. She didn't say, calm it down, be quiet. She gave me this soft hug, and she just let me cry. And then her soft voice was, you're gonna be okay. And I'm going to help you get through this. And if you need to step out for a moment, you can do that. And at that moment, I felt like so much support. I felt, even in that moment right there, I felt support, and I was able to, I kind of like calm down. And from that moment, I was fine. And to know that when you're dealing with the loss of your loved one, even facing them, even in the situation that they're in before they pass away, or even before, that you have that positive support system. You have Vitas healthcare providers, volunteers, all of the people in the medical field right there to help you. They're trained, they're well knowledgeable, they know what they're doing, but most of all, they have a heart of compassion. They have a heart that cares. And you can tell that when you're around different people who care, who don't care, who's there just to be there and waiting for you to move on, versus the person who really want to show love and support to you. So that's one thing I really will encourage you to, if you're dealing with the last stages and you're dealing with how to handle seeing your parent or your loved one at that stage, that this is definitely a program. This is definitely a service to seek out through Vitas. Another service they offer is care for veterans. And I thought that was very unique for VITAS to offer care for veterans, because my dad was a veteran in the Army, and they just didn't treat him as if he was someone, just my family. That's all who cared. But they knew that he was a veteran, and they did extra stuff for him. They brought in a anniversary plaque, and this was in Orlando. That's where we lived. They brought in a plaque, and they let us know that they honored him. And not only did they do it, but just the service, the military service for honoring their soldiers is amazing to me. But to read and to find out through VITAS that they offer care for veterans, that they celebrate them while they're here, not just when they're gone, but they also honor the holidays. They also respect that as well with the veterans. And these are trained people that goes in to these facilities. Whether your family or your loved one is in a facility, they would travel to your home. They will go and take you from the doctors to your home, wherever you need help in. They provide these services that will help make your caregiving better and even easier, because they understand what it means, and they understand the stress and the things that is going on in our minds and in our life. And sometimes we don't tend to remember to cover all of our bases. So that's why they're there to just kind of help you along your way. Another service that they offer is home equipment. And like I shared before, if you don't know they offer this, I'm telling you now, they offer home care equipment, and this equipment, regardless, whatever your equipment needs are, you can just contact them and let them know, and they will provide it. For them to come in and do what they did for my father it was just a blessing, because my brother, like I shared before, he was the main caregiver, and he was there with my mom, and that was all that lived in the house. And the rest of the siblings, we were living our lives. But my brother was the one that was constantly there and making sure that our dad received the care, and everything that he needed to make himself comfortable. But the most, one of the most important thing too that I remember when they brought in the equipment was, even after my dad passed, they didn't come immediately to go pick it up. They waited. And then they called to the home and talked to my mom, and they set a schedule when to come and get it. So it wasn't abruptly, it wasn't, disrespectful in any way. It was as if they feel the same hurt. They feel the same pain. They're going through this together with us. And so it made our transition easier, because it took a load off of my brother or the family trying to figure out who's going to break down the equipment, how we're going to get it back to the office. They pick it up, they drop it off, they box it all up, they just take care of everything. So I definitely will encourage you to use their services, and I will provide you with their contact information before. Another service that they offer is music therapy, which I kind of thought that was pretty cool, because this is a therapist who talks to the family, the patient, if they're able to, and find out how they're feeling. And sometimes patients can't feel, or it's hard for them to get out really how they feel or their emotions. So they would offer to sit with that person and write a song with them. That is so cool. Write a song with them and have someone play it. So that song is the expression of what that person want to say, maybe can't say, or maybe he had a song in his heart, he never got it out, or words that he never, thought to speak. But all of a sudden, that music therapy right there is to be able to show someone, hey, you still can express how you feel. Let me help you, because your thoughts matter. You still matter. We're not going to just let you sit here and just go away. No, we want to do whatever we have to do, reach you any way to any depth that we have to reach you to express your feelings and your emotions. And I was reading one of their testimonies, and it shared that this patient he wanted to learn piano, and they taught him how to play a piano. And by playing a piano, he was able to get out his emotions. And that to me is love. To me, just if they don't do nothing but the music therapy, to me, that's just love. Because one, they're taking the time. You have to that is a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of attention that you're giving to this one person to make sure that they express how they feel, that they're not just here, or they just not in a bed, or maybe they're just not, they're not just in a room, just sitting there looking at four walls, but how they are so tuned into wanting to make sure the patient expresses himself is beyond any words that I can even say. But another service that VITAS offer is Paw Pals. So this is a service where they have people who are trained and who dogs are trained, and they bring them into their community living facilities, wherever the patients are into your home. And they've shown that by bringing a pet in, that the people have responded, the patients have responded, whether they don't smile, they smiled, and they felt the comfort from the animal that they have in their room. And so it was like different expressions was taking place, different improvement in the patients was taking place when they brought the pets. And so now they have started a pet visit. So I thought that was pretty good. Another service that they offer is called Memory Bear Creation. And this is where the volunteers of VITAS, they will sew a fabric, and they will also include a fabric from the family on a bear as your memory, or as, something to remember your loved one by. And they will either create the fabric and do that way, or they would have it to where you could provide your clothing of the person. And that is another way. They said it would help also with grief and bereavement and the times of missing that loved one. You have something there that will represent them. And, and as a bear, of course, you will hug it. And it said it helped the patients as well as the loved ones to help with the loss. And again, the various services that they offer and the various programs is continual. They have so many things going on, but one program they have is a program for caregivers. They understand that not only does the patient need care, but also the caregivers need to be on point. And when I mean be on point is they have tips that they offer caregivers to keep you healthy, to keep you focused on taking care of yourself. And they tell us that the more you're stressed, the more that you're unable to cope with what's going on with your family member or someone you love, the more sickness you will take on yourself. You will begin to have chronic stress. You will begin to be anxious. You will begin to be angry. And so they are letting you know hey, we understand. And these are the things that can help you throughout your day, every day, or if you take one thing, or you can do all four of them. At least try to find some way to relax yourself, some way to find that time. If you have to just get out and just walk away and just take a breath or take a breather and just say, okay, I can handle it again. They encourage you to do so. And they also encourage you, they are so strong on caring for you. So sometimes, even as caregivers, we don't even consider caring for ourselves. So one of the tips that the first one, they say is take charge of your life. Don't let your loved ones